Rushworth. Hello, Nicholas. What have you got to start off with?
I'm going to start out with Le Figaro, and I can just show it to you, the front page there. It shows Gilles Jacquier, the France 2 journalist here in France who was killed in Syria as he was covering events there on Wednesday. Now, he is the first Western journalist to die covering the uprising in Syria, and the paper in its inside pages there, you can see its coverage, says that he was a person who il n'a jamais lâché prise. He never gave up. He always went to the bottom of things in his work. And also another expression they quote from him is that he was horrified by war, l'horreur de la guerre. He was about the horror of war. And also in that piece, the paper expresses its condolences to his family. He had twin girls, aged 15 months. So there we see him on that paper. Also on the front page, if we can go back to that alongside his photo, we have another headline about a completely different story of what we were talking about earlier, les slackeurs. The French don't work so much, apparently, according to the front page of Le Figaro. That's because a new report is saying that they work 6 weeks less a year than the Germans do. The figures actually are 1,679 hours per year compared to 1,904 hours in Germany. Now, France ranks the lowest, just after Finland in the European Union, 27 countries. So, of course, we were laughing earlier. Well, yeah, you can say that, but also there is French flair. The French do actually work hard, but in a time frame that suits them.
They're meant to be pretty productive, aren't they?
Yeah, I'm still with that paper. I couldn't help but noticing a workers' dispute that caught my eye. Le Figaro, again, is looking at events in Père-Lachaise, where les fossoyeurs font des têtes d'enterrement. Now, les fossoyeurs are grave diggers. Now, Père-Lachaise is that great cemetery, of course, with Oscar Wilde, Marcel Proust, Jim Morris. Yeah, of course. So this week, grave diggers have blocked access to the cemetery to grieving families wanting to bury their dear departed, their beloved ones. And their goal is to demand for the right for early retirement and to work an hour and a half less a day. Now, the socialist mayor of Paris, Bertrand Delanoë, has said, this is a scandal. How can they possibly, take families to hostage in that kind of situation? Of course, my father came to Paris a few years ago and saw that the automatic teller machines were all on strike. He couldn't believe he couldn't get his money out, and he was in panic because he was obviously from abroad. And so, but again, that right to strike is so embedded in the French mentality, and good, perhaps for some, and bad for others. That's an opinion you take on it.
Mocked for it, aren't they? Now, that's the Figaro. What about the other papers this morning?
Well, I've done the Le Figaro in full there. I'm going to go to La Tribune. It's looking at one of the issues in this presidential campaign there, the grand flou nucléaire. The future of France's nuclear industry is up in air after the events in Fukushima last year, but also because Germany, subsequent to Fukushima, decided that it was going to phase out all its nuclear power plants by 2022. Now, the piece there in La Tribune looks at all the safety and cost issues. A French court is publishing a report saying that for the moment there are really few very reliable indications about what the cost would be for France of scrapping nuclear power stations and also the waste treatment the issue. Now, Libération is looking at that issue too. It is headlining on the piece on the incidence of, not that, that's the front page, but there is actually a piece inside the paper about leukemia, child leukemia in near power plants in France. There we can see it. And it's pointing out that there were 14 cases of child leukemia in near nuclear sites in France from 2002 to 2007. It notes a British Medical Journal report in 1997 establishing a correlation between France's nuclear reprocessing plant at Le Havre, which is in the north of the country, to abnormally high risk of child leukemia. And I'm just going to end quickly on Le Monde, which is...
Yes, another scandal.
Yeah, another scandal. We've got the Karachi case, the Bettencourt scandal. This one is about the police of the police, and that scandal there briefly is about suggestions that there was a trucage of a police investigation. Trucage is a cover-up. So that also probably we'll hear more about. It's an exclusive in Le Monde, so during the week, the week's over tomorrow, but next week we'll hear more about that. So the issues are rocking and rolling in the French presidential campaign.
Rocking and rolling. Thank you very much for that look at the French press, Nicholas. You're watching live from Paris. Time to get a reminder of our top stories.